Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm an educator here at the Greater Cleveland Aquarium. Everyone that comes here notices the sharks, the stingrays, probably the octopus. But on this journey, we're going to go through and find 10 more animals that maybe aren't as noticed as those ones, but they deserve just as much love as all the rest of the animals here. So the spotted salamander, believe it or not, is a common animal in Ohio, but hardly ever seen. They will burrow underground to protect themselves, which is why you see in our exhibit here at the aquarium these 2 tunnels for our own spotted salamander. Loaches are one of my favorite animals here. They do this really strange thing of resting on their side. One of the only fish that I know of that do that. So sometimes they look like they may not be okay or something, but that is just their normal behavior, resting on their sides. So it can be easy to overlook animals that are in these homes with a bunch of other fish or animals, especially if it's a few different species. These white cloud mountain minnows at the top, those small ones with the red tail with that black spot at the base of the tail, these kinds of smaller animals can be fun to try and study and tell apart from all the rest of the creatures sharing the space with them. Cuckoo catfish are one really beautiful with those black spots, but they also do something really cool and possibly creepy to some people. They will lay their eggs with another species' eggs, oftentimes a cichlid species, and their eggs will hatch first and begin to feed on the other species' eggs. So we will call that a brood parasite, which again can be a little creepy, but it's a really cool thing they do in nature. Fruit doves do something really spectacular for humans. They eat, well, a ton of fruit, just as their name implies. And when they eat that fruit, they'll end up dispersing those fruit seeds all over the place, which then will grow whole new plants and shrubs that might feed us more fruit and other foods. So this tropical cylinder is another home with a bunch of different smaller species that I think people tend to overlook, maybe walk right past. So today we're looking for the rummy-nosed tetras, those little fish down there with those strikingly red faces. And right now we're lucky enough to see them potentially eating some food, some breakfast. You can see it falling down there. And look at that, they did. The larger catfish in our aquarium kind of steal the show at the beginning, but these are also catfish in this tropical cylinder here. And the small animals, of course, are a little more overlooked than larger ones, but you could be missing out on this crazy intricate pattern on these catfish right here, these green-line Corydoras. If you look closely at them, they have these lines and spots. It almost looks like a maze. And that's just something that you want to get a close look at if you can. But again, with their size, they can be a little easy to walk right past and not notice on a visit through here. Coral reef fish. Usually people do know that coral reef fish are more strikingly colored and patterned than other fish from around the world. Sometimes fish like parrotfish make all these quick twists and turns, and they can be hard to kind of observe if they're really moving around their home. You can see right now we do have some food in here, so we get a little bit of a better look at this strikingly red parrotfish eating some of that food. They have a really interesting set of teeth inside their mouth where they're kind of fused together, mainly for feeding on hard coral. The animals here in the aquarium there are only one of can be the easiest to overlook because, well, there's only one of them in there, and if you don't see it the first time through, you might walk right by it. This arc-eye hawkfish is the only one of its kind in that home right there, and what makes it even more difficult is it doesn't really swim around as much as the other fish in here. And plus it camouflages. You can see its color matching with those pipes right there. But this is how they behave. They wade on top of corals and other structures in their habitat, and then they'll lunge out at food from there. The northern clingfish, you really do have to be kind of lucky to see on a trip through the aquarium. They have this suction cup disc on the bottom of them that, again, if you're lucky, they will be kind of suctioned to the glass out front here. If they're not doing that, they might be tucked away in some dark corner in this exhibit. But they are a really cool creature, not just because of that lifestyle and that suction cup disc, but as many intertidal animals do, they can survive out of water for periods of time by breathing air, which is just really awesome and something to for sure appreciate about these clingfish. There is an animal up there. Does have its tentacles out right now, the Plumose anemone. If it doesn't have those tentacles out, it just looks like this flat disc, which is even easier to walk right by, especially if the octopus is moving. But right now, we can see its tentacles out, and they're a living animal, which is kind of hard to believe sometimes. But they are a predator, even beyond that. So they'll grab things from their habitat with those tentacles. Anemones can sting, and they should just be appreciated a little more than I think they are.